My name is Valerie Kramer, and I attend Blue Valley High School. I decided to talk about Greek life today. This topic really interested me because college is less than a year away. So I find myself interested because I'm considering whether or not to rush. So I will mainly be talking about sorority since I'm a girl, but the majority of the information I give you will be extremely helpful when considering a fraternity as well. So off the internet, I just went to the Kansas website and pulled up University of Kansas website, and I pulled up what sororities they offer, and here they are ranked, starting with Alpha Chi Omega and ending with Sigma Kappa. I want to stress the importance of researching your sorority or fraternity. Depending on what college you go to, just go into their website, looking at what they offer for Greek life. There are a lot of different kinds of sororities and fraternities, and it's just really important to know, what fit would be right for you. So, look at their houses, look at the pictures, look at what they're ranked, look at their reviews. Researching will be a really big thing when considering what house and whether or not you even want to rush. So I will start by going through what factors you should consider before rushing, kind of just thinking about what you're going to be getting yourself into. So first off, it's a huge financial commitment. Between dues, room and board, and buying specific clothes for social events, sorority life can easily be $1,000 per semester. So that being said, be open and honest about what you can afford and talk about it with your parents. Don't be afraid to ask questions in fear that'll make you less desirable when rushing, because you want to be smart for when your future self begins paying down student loan debt. And also just, you don't want to stress during your time at your sorority or fraternity. This is supposed to be a fun extracurricular activity. You get to meet new people, you get to do all these different kinds of things. But the financial commitment is a super big thing that you need to be just aware of. You can't really work and do Greek life at the same time, because if you're doing Greek life, then you have to keep your grades up. And Greek life is just full of events and activities and things that are going to consume your time. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But working is not really an option for you if you are, going to be in a fraternity or a sorority. So keep in mind, what your finances are. The next thing is whether or not you're introverted. Are you a social butterfly? It's no secret that sororities and fraternities find reasons to celebrate. So if you aren't into large gatherings or being constantly enthusiastic, or if you have a really hard time making small talk, you might consider finding a different way to put yourself out there, a different extracurricular activity. Furthermore, especially for girls, you need to be thick-skinned. Be aware that you will be living with a lot of girls. Take what you learned from high school to heart. Girls can create drama. Be the one to not overthink things throughout rush week or at your time in a sorority. You're going to be living with 40 plus girls. Just know how to stay out of things, know how to be a peacemaker. Rushing is also focused on rejection, on criticism. So be okay with it. Not everyone is going to like you, just as you aren't going to like everyone else. If you're going out for a house and they don't accept you, but other houses find that you're suitable for them, just really don't get in your head about it. Those houses that accepted you for a reason. And it doesn't mean that you are less of anything. So don't, think badly about yourself. Be okay with judgment and criticism. That's really what Rush Week is. The next huge thing is time commitment. So we kind of talked about this a little bit, but between chapter meetings, philanthropic duties, social events, it's really hard to study. finding time to study, finding time to work. Remember that your grades are a leading factor in being accepted and living in the sorority. While researching, I found that the number one reason people are kicked out of their Greek life homes is because they can't keep their grades up. They time management is a super, super big skill that you need to come ready for when you are accepted into a sorority or fraternity. Um, that being said, knowing your desired major ahead of time will help you decide on or if um, you live at your house, how long you live at your house. Just be responsible. You want to have fun, but your future is more important. So if you're responsible, you can schedule fun into your time at college. The last thing I want to talk about before you consider rushing is just each house's reputation. Again, I talked about this a little bit before, but really research the houses for their on campus reputation and their national reputation. What scandals have they been into? Before you join, you need to be sure that you are okay with who you associate yourself with. So read reviews, visit Instagram accounts, visit school websites, really research about what houses offer. The next half of my screencast will be about picking which house is right for you. So during rush week, you should really focus on which houses you think you can be yourself in. This is probably the most important thing I can say in this presentation is just know your values, know your personality, know what you are comfortable with. Throughout rush week, you need to find who you feel the most similar with, who you have the best conversations with. That will help you in choosing your, house. Knowing what your priorities are, write them all down. And then throughout rush week, does your list align with theirs? So if you feel you have nothing in common with these kinds of girls, then that should be a deciding factor as to what house you choose. And, while researching, I found UCLA has Greek organizations for band members, students interested in Judaism, and students passionate about making films. So what groups of people are in which sorority at your college? Does this affect your decision? It is a fact that you will be more comfortable and experience less conflict, less stress at houses that are most similar to who you are. It shouldn't be a pain to talk to girls, to meet new people if they are if you share similar interests, it'll just make it easier for you to become friends with these girls. Also, join for the right reasons. Don't just join because it is cool, because you're afraid you won't make friends at college, because, when you're accepted into a house and you decide to go through with it, it's opening you up to 40 plus different girls. You're going to meet so many more people, so many new people. And Greek life isn't for everybody. So just know who you are as a person, join for the right reasons. Don't join because your friends were talking about doing it. Try to leave your high school past behind and make the smart choices first. You want to pick a house that is right for you financially, mentally, physically, and academically as a student primarily before you decide where you had the most fun throughout your rush week. Also, while researching, I found that rush week is when the houses try to look their best for you because they're trying to recruit you. So, same goes for their social media. So take superficial things you experience throughout rush week, with a grain of salt. It doesn't, really show what each house is really like. You need to focus on who you had the best connection with. Also, make your own decision. Don't let your friends and family impact you on where you go, because their personality and their needs are going to be completely different to your personality and your needs. So you need to make your own decision. And just know that wherever you go, there are going to be opportunities and friends and people that await you. So you're going to make friends no matter what. And being a sorority really opens you up to a lot of avenues for when you're applying to jobs. It's a great way to meet people and use them as contacts. So your chapter's newsletter or website will be a super good source for new job openings, and sisters will be really happy to make referrals for you and vice versa. So, make your own decision and just know that you'll be happy wherever you go as long as it is right for you. So these last couple questions are just general things that I think people should ask themselves throughout Rush Week. Do the sisters treat each other with respect? No one needs to be accepted into a house and find out later that, these girls really aren't very nice to each other. No one needs to feel inferior. You don't need to feel inferior. Just make sure that these girls are nice, that they have a generally good attitude, that you feel that they are good people because you want to be comfortable with where you are living, where you are spending most of your time, where you are sleeping at college. Also, is there organization and structure within the house? Does really look at the leaders? Do they feel their leadership role? So these two questions kind of go together. Does it feel like the leaders or like the house is kind of doing things last minute throughout Rush Week, or does it feel like they are prepared? Do you think that they are prepared for their activities, that they're well-spoken? Kind of look at, Rush Week is how they judge you, but it's also how you're judging them. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And also, if you're accepted and you are having a hard time picking which house that you want to be in, this might sound a little silly, but physically picture yourself living in that building, which physically feels the most homely to you. Again, you're just going to be spending the majority of your time there. So, look at the building, look at what your room would be like, how much space you have. Is it in the right location for you? Are a lot of your classes around the house? Just feel what is most comfortable for you. So I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully I've answered questions and calmed fears when it comes to thinking about pursuing Greek life. Just know that Greek life is not for everyone, but as an incoming freshman, it is a big thing to consider. So if you have any more questions, feel free to comment below at the bottom of the post, and be sure to check out my references to find out where you can find additional information. Thank you.